Do you and your teammates see yourselves getting closer and closer to really clicking like you've been talking about?
No, we're doing the work necessary to get there, but right now it's not happening for us in the game just yet. I don't think at times we understand how important Andrew is for us. So some of the things that change our lineup, change our ability to make some rotations, do some things with our game. They've changed a lot since he's been out. But in practice, we're working hard at some things that we feel like will, put us in position to, have some things locked in as we close out this regular season, and in particular as the playoffs start.
They better click in a hurry.
Yeah, it's we can't win a championship in one day, in one practice, and in one game. So, as much as we're putting, emphasis on how we're playing right now and wanting to play better, we understand we have to play the right way at the right times. And, like I said, we're putting the work in on a daily basis to try and do that. And, we're still confident and very optimistic that things will happen for us and come together for us when we need them to.
You had mentioned earlier the idea that you're not going to win a championship in one game, and also that you guys are trying to find what's been missing, but it's not coming during games. Is it ever an issue just trying to make it happen right away as opposed to just letting it happen? Do you think that's ever going on?
Sometimes. Sometimes there are times where you're, whether you call it pressing or trying too hard or trying to, force something to happen as opposed to just letting it happen. And, that's some of it for us, in particular on the offensive end. We've lacked the ability to let some things happen offensively and just moving the basketball and moving players around and not really worrying about who ends up actually shooting the ball or who we're going to get the ball to. Having the confidence that the reason why we have such a deep team and such a talented team is that everybody can contribute. And let's try and play in a way that allows everybody to flourish. And we've struggled with that in the games. We've really because there's a lot of times where Kobe, Powell, and especially when Andrew was in the lineup, between one of those three, they had a physical size advantage on their guy. And there just were a lot of nights where we just decide we're just going to take advantage of him because he's smaller than that guy. And that doesn't necessarily bode well for us in terms of just moving the ball and executing offensively. So, like I said, we're putting a lot of time in practice trying to keep going back to moving the ball, making the right play, passing to the open guy, and just seeing what happens. But in the game, it's tough, because everybody wants to win, everybody wants to try and help, and sometimes those things just get a little bit off.
So it can be a matter of just getting out of your own heads?
I don't know if guys are in their own heads or if we're in our own heads in that way in terms of panic, overthinking that way. I think, but more so, when things aren't happening the way you want them to, you get a little bit in a funk and you start thinking, okay, what is it? Why is this not working? And what our coaching staff is trying to get us to do, and what we've talked about, is just getting back to the basics. Let's go back to our offense. Let's go back to our defensive principles and clean those things up. And let's try and play a more efficient game. And then you can, figure out some other things.
Because when you think too much, it gets worse.
It can. It depends on what you're thinking about.